Hey everyone, my name is Adi, and today we are going to learn how to paint a pine cone with ink and brush. I'm creating a plan with pencil, starting with an egg-like shape. I often use a mechanical pencil, so that I will not have to stop and sharpen the pencil while drawing. There are different kinds of lead for mechanical pencil. Similar to regular drawing pencils, they are marked with letters. I used H for the first and general lines. H lead smeared less and easier to erase, which make it suitable for making plans. I changed later to an HB, the normal lead, so that the final lines will be more visible to you. It's better not to make the plates, the scales of the cone, in straight rows, but rather in diagonal lines. There is actually a certain order of how the plates are located. When looking from above, you can see that they are going around in spiral. I just draw the outlines of the cone and plates, placing lines that will guide me later on. I will go over it with ink, so it's pointless to add many details or to start drawing light and shadow. The next stage is to create a base layer. I used a brown ink, but you can pick a different color of ink or watercolor if you wish. The only thing that really matters is that the color won't be too opaque and dark, because we will go over it. You don't have to make the base layer unified. I kept some of the edges white. You will see why at the end of the video. You can mix the ink with water over a palette. You can also use a pipette bottle, dropper bottle, to take the ink from the container. After the first layer dried, we can get into details and light and shadow. I'm using a black ink diluted with water. I recommend working in layers, and with every layer the ink will be more opaque and dark. I leave the base layer untouched in the lighter areas. If you want to achieve a realistic result, it's better to create variation in values to create a different level of darkness. I use a brush that is soft and has a pointy shape. To get rid of extra water or ink, you can wipe off the brush. When drawing or painting something that is complicated, it's better to divide it into smaller shapes. Ink can differ. Some are waterproof after they're dried on the paper, and some aren't. Even if you go over with water on the types that aren't waterproof, you can't remove the color completely. So it's better to be careful when using opaque ink. Because if you made a mistake, like making the cone too dark, you might not be able to fix it. In order to get the feeling that the tips of the plates come out, make a dark area beside them. Our mind reads this contrast between dark areas and light areas as different heights. Less light gets in the closer it gets to the center. By making it darker the deeper it gets, we will achieve the effect of depth. The paper is flat, so we need to use dark color and light color to trick the eyes into seeing the painting as an object with volume. I'm looking at every plate separately, searching for details and light and shadows, But it is also important to look at the whole thing. How our things look with relation to each other. It is good to take breaks and check what you painted before moving on. With every layer, I make the shadows deeper, but I still keep areas that are less dark. As we continue, we get a gradient effect, thanks to the fact that it doesn't go straight from light to dark. I think it makes it easier to divide the painting process to stages. It makes the process of thinking more organized. I find it helpful to plan ahead. When starting with a plan in pencil, you don't get afraid of making mistakes, because you can change your mind and move things around. And after creating the base layer, it already feels like you have something on the paper. I think that by taking one small object at a time and focusing on it, studying it, is a good way to practice drawing and painting. This style of painting, when using one color or very limited number of colors, is called monochrome, one color. Even if you make a colorful artwork, the same rules that we talked about in this video apply as well. We are getting closer to finish this painting. How can you decide when a painting is done? Ask yourself, is there anything that you feel is missing? A painting is finished when there is nothing that you can add that actually improve your painting, nothing that needs to change. When you have nothing more to say or to show. If you are not sure, you can put the painting aside and look at it a day later with a fresh mind. Not only the cone has light and shadow, but the cone casts shadow as well. By adding the shadow underneath the cone, we can show that the cone is on top of something, without even showing what it is. This way the cone doesn't feel like it's flying in the air. When creating the shadow underneath the cone, the shadow gets darker the closer it is to the cone. In order to get the feeling that the shadow gradually disappears, use more and more diluted color the further away you get from the cone. I used both brown and gray, black mixed with water, when creating the shadow, matching the colors to the cone. We did a monochrome painting today, but it is important to keep in mind that even when painting a colorful painting, it is good to have some kind of repetition of the colors between the object and the shadow it casts. Now the areas that I left white can pop out because I made it dark around them. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and that this tutorial will be helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.